Brock Page here, random sports picks for fun. And I don't care enough to make a comment about your bookie, although that very statement has collapsed on itself because in saying I won't talk about your bookie, I did in fact mention the existence of your bookie. Anyway, the Chicago Bears travel to South Philly to take on the Birds at Lincoln Financial. Big number in this one as the Eagles open up the betting as the 13-point favorites. Total at an even 44. Since the markets opened up, we've seen steady movement in the direction of Philadelphia as they're now laying 13.5 against the spread. Much to my surprise, though, this total's moved half a point downward. Must be accounting for the lackluster production of the Bears offense. Total's now at 43.5. Currently, the Birds are heavily favored on the money line as the $9.10 favorites. And at the moment, Philly continues to take money as 63% of Johnny Q. Public's hard-earned cash is on the Birds. And why the hell not? This Philadelphia team has been excellent in real life and against the number. Overall, Philly's covering 80% of their games on the year, going 8-2 against the spread in all their games. The Eagles have also performed great against the points in the friendly confines, going 4-1 covering at Lincoln Financial Field. The Birds against the spread are also 6-1 laying the points, 4-1 as the official home favorite, and 7-0 in their last 7 games. The Eagles have also decimated their opponents by an average of 26 points per victory in their last 3. They've got themselves a Chicago opponent who struggled against the number when traveling, failing to cover in 3 of their 4 road games. The Bears have also covered just 1 of 4 games as the official road underdog. In addition to all these pretty disparaging figures, this Chicago team is 0-3 against the spread in their last 3 games. And if you're on the fence about the Eagles covering double digits, they did successfully cover a 13-point spread over San Francisco at Lincoln Financial Field just 3 weeks ago. All in all, the case for Philly bettors can certainly be made, but if you like the Birds to cover, I wouldn't pussyfoot around too long as they're taking money right now, like I stated earlier. We could see this one get as high as Philly minus 15 at the closing number. Now, scoring-wise, both teams have gone 2-2 to the overs in their last 4. Philly scoring 36 points per contest in their last 6. Meanwhile, the Bears have found themselves allowing quite a few points themselves, giving up 23 a game on average in their last 3. Wouldn't be completely surprised to see this one get over, although Philly's given up just 9 points on average in their last 2 unders. I'll leave the total in this one to the real sports handicappers. As for me, however, I can never say that word. However, I've got enough confidence in this Eagles team to cover that number. Look for them to pull away in the second half as they do most every game. All told, I'm buying the hook and taking Philadelphia, laying the 13 and getting the job done against the double-digit number. Next game, Carolina at the New York Jets. No love from the markets as the Panthers opened as just the 5-point favorites. Thought that opening line was a little low personally, but I guess it makes sense since Carolina's on the road. Total on this one opened at a very low 39.5. Since the lines came out, big shocker for me in this one as the majority of the markets moved this line downward to Panthers minus 4.5. The total remains stable at 39.5. And at the moment, the Panthers are the $2.20 favorites on the money line. I have to imagine Carolina will be taking money by the closing bell as they've been playing some really good football the past 3 weeks. And they've been covering the spread. The Panthers are 3-0 against the number in their last 3 and 6-4 against the spread overall for the year. What's been most impressive about this Panther team is their ability to cover on the road. Carolina's covered 4 out of their 5 games when traveling, but it ain't all sunshine and rainbows for Carolina bettors. This Panther team has really struggled to cover when laying the points, covering just 2 of 6 games as the official Vegas favorite. Alongside of that number, the Panthers have also failed to cover 3 of 4 games at the current posted total. They're going up against a Jets team who's been remarkable against the spread all year long, successfully covering the number in all 5 home games at MetLife Stadium this season. The Jets are also 4-0 covering in games at the current total and 5-1 covering against teams over 500. Most impressive is the Jets covering as the underdog at the Meadowlands. They're 5-0 against the points as the official home underdog. They also covered 80% of their games versus teams allowing less than 21 points a game. All that in mind, it seems as if the Panthers should be able to take care of the Jets in the outright contest, but Jets bettors are seeming a little more justified when it comes to covering the number. Now, scoring-wise, once again, we've seen another Panther game with another low opening number on the total. Panther games are 3-1 to the unders in their last 4, with 2 of those games against sub 40 point opening lines. The Panthers held their opponents to just 12 points per contest in those unders as well. Meanwhile, we're seeing a completely different story on the Jets side of things, as New York's going 3-1 to the overs in their last 4 themselves. Surprisingly, New York scored 27 points per contest on average in those 3 overs as well. It is going to be hard to move the ball on this Carolina D, but New York has been averaging 23 points of scoring in their games at MetLife Stadium. The very low opening line makes me want to take the under, but all the data says this one's going over. Once again, I'm going to leave the total to those real cappers out there. If you got a beat on the total, please feel free to drop me a line in the comments section and let me know what you think. All said and done, though, I'm feeling kind of scared about this game. So I'm going to go with a real soft play here and hedge my wagering. I know it doesn't make sense. It's terrible. But all told, I'm buying the hook and taking the Jets +5, with the Panthers winning it outright for some money line cash. Next game I have for you, it is going to be Tennessee at Indy. I'm still not real sold on this Titans team just yet. You really don't know which Tennessee is going to show up week to week. Currently, Tennessee's laying 3.5 with a total at 44. No real movement on the lines thus far. And at the moment, the Titans are the $1.75 favorites to win this one outright. Now, if you're leaning towards the Tennessee side in this one, God bless you for having such a short memory. These Titans have been just outright bad against the number all year long. Tennessee's covered just 3 of 10 overall on the year, and just 1 of 5 away from home. Surprisingly, after failing to cover the majority of the season, they continue to open up as the Vegas favorite in these matchups. Tennessee's been favored 8 times so far this year, and have covered just 3 of those games, laying the points. They've also failed to cover 6 of their last 7, including their last 4 straight in that string of losses. Worst of all is the Titans' failure to cover against losing organizations. This Titans team is a winless 0-4 against the spread versus teams with a sub-400 record. They're going up against an Indy team who's 6-4 ATS overall and have covered 4 of 5 matchups at Lucas Oil Stadium. If you're betting sides in this one, try to get a beat on where the money's going so you can project the line moves. The more points Indy catches at home, it looks like the better off you'll be. Now, total-wise, not going to get too into it much. Tennessee's 3-1 to the overs in their last 4. Indy's just 1-3 to the overs in their last 4 themselves. Hate that line at 44. Not real interested in touching the total in this one. Once again, though, my gut tells me the Titans outright, but the trends always sway me into taking the better team ATS, especially when they're catching points at home. Looks like we're hedging another this week. Oh, no, it's just terrible, isn't it? All told, I'm buying it up and taking Indy +4, with the Titans winning it outright in a close one. Next game I have for you, it's going to be a real messy one. Probably not going to be touching this one, I don't think, but maybe I can talk myself into one. We got Cleveland at Cincinnati. Cincy opened 7.5, now 8. Total open 38.5, now 38. Currently, Cincy's 4-1 to win this one outright. No surprise here. What I'm about to tell you, you should certainly not be shocked. It certainly should come as no shock. This Cleveland Browns organization can't win, and they can't cover. The Brownies against the spread are 2-9 overall, 0-5 on the road, 2-7 catching the points. Cleveland against the number is also 0-3 at the total, 0-4 as the road underdog, and 0-3 versus teams giving up less than 21 a game. They're going up against a Cincy team who hasn't done much better themselves. The Bengals have covered just 1 of 4 at Paul Brown, 2 of 5 laying the points, and just 1 of 4 as the official home favorite. The bright side for Cincy bettors is that they're 2-0 ATS in their last 2 and successfully covered the number in their first matchup with the Brownies earlier in the year. Scoring-wise, Cleveland's 2-2 to the unders in their last 4. Cincy's 2-2 to the unders in their last 4 as well. Nothing there. All told, I'm saving my money and letting you figure this one out. If there's something I'm missing out, out there when it comes to this game. I'm just a piss poor bettor and blind to it. So please, for the sake of my bankroll, let me know in the comments section what I'm missing out on, if you got anything on this game. Please and thank you. Next game I have for you, it is going to be Tampa Bay plus 8.5 at Atlanta. Bucs trying to take advantage of the Falcons short week. Totals at a very high 49.5 points. Atlanta's the $4 favorites to win this one outright. Another messy one trying to figure this one out. Tampa's been terrible against the number all year long, but recently covered their last 2 straight. They always tend to play Atlanta tough as well. They have also managed to gather themselves 2 successful covers on the road this year. They're going up against the Falcons squad, who's covered just 3 of 9 on the year before last night's action in Seattle. They're also 2-5 against the number in their last 7. Tough to really say who's going to be taking the early money, but for the record, this Atlanta team has not successfully covered a spread over 3 points this year. Now, scoring-wise, we've actually seen quite a few unders in these Atlanta games. The Falcons are 3-1 to the unders in their last 4. Throwing out last night's game in Seattle, they found themselves scoring just 16 points per contest in those unders. Meanwhile, very similar story on the Tampa side, as Bucs games have gone 3-1 to the unders in their last 4 themselves. The Bucs found themselves averaging just 9 points of scoring per contest in those unders as well. All said and done, my gut instinct is to go over in this one. Classic case of the line talking to me. That said, I got to go with the numbers over the matchups. All told, I'll buy it up and take the Bucs plus 9 with the under 49.5 in this one. Next and final game for the show, Miami at New England. The Patriots open 16, now 16.5. Total open 47.5, now 48. Currently, New England's like laying 1,400 or something on the money line. And at the moment, Miami's taking just 38% of the money. So look for them to be catching a half a point or so real soon in the near future. Now, depending on where you shop, this Miami team is lackluster to bad when it comes to covering. Personally, I got the Dolphins covering just 3 of 10 overall and just 2 of 6 away from home. The Dolphins were catching points in 7 of their 10 games on the year, unto which they successfully covered just 2 games as the official Vegas underdog. Miami's on a current 4-game losing streak and has also failed to cover their last 5 consecutive matchups. They're going up against a New England team who's 6-4 against the spread overall and covering 60% when laying the points. The Patriots are also 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 consecutive ball games. I'll tell you what, the Pats are a great covering team, but that is a mighty big number to cover. I can't in good conscience put my hard-earned money on the Dolphins to succeed at, well, anything, but the Patriots have not covered a number nearly this high on the year. Now, scoring-wise, Pats games are just 1-3 to the overs in their last 4. New England's stingy D is giving up just 9 points per contest in those unders. Meanwhile, on the other side, completely different story, as Miami games went 5-0 to the overs in their previous 5. They gave up a rotund 36 points per contest in their previous 4 games as well. That opening number is super sharp in my opinion, so I'm not so concerned with the total in this game. I do, however, find no reason why I should rely on Miami for anything. I also find no reason why I shouldn't rely on the Pats to win by 3 scores over the Fins. Time to be a man. All told, I'll buy the hook and move it down. Give me New England, minus 16, getting the job done against the number. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. One more video for NFL Week 12 coming out. That's going to be the late games for Sunday night. Probably have that video out later tonight or tomorrow. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. But before I get out of here, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.